Welcome to the Kitchen Remodel Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Robin Johnson, and I can't wait to chat with you about one of the most exciting topics ever. Kitchen design, right? I mean, who doesn't dream of remodeling their kitchen? Friends, if you're looking to up-level the most important room in your home, I am so glad you're here. As an award-winning designer of over 20 years, kitchens are my absolute favorite room in the house. Join me to discover the latest design trends, color palettes, and what you should know when it comes to choosing a layout, cabinetry, appliances, and so much more. With hundreds of decisions to be made and thousands of dollars on the line, you won't want to miss an episode. Let's get started. Hey friends, welcome back to Kitchen Remodel Made Easy. I hope everyone had a wonderful and restful Thanksgiving because the Christmas countdown is officially on. And if you're listening in real time, we are now sitting at 15 days until Christmas. Crazy. So in today's episode, this is especially for all the moms out there. I see you, the ones who are juggling a million to-dos, half-finished school projects, holiday performances, teacher gifts, and gingerbread houses that are somehow always sliding apart, right? You guys are truly magic. I see you because I've been you and I know how crazy it is. So thank you for all that you do. And on top of all of that, the holiday hosting is beginning. Kids are running around, relatives are asking where the coffee is, casseroles are waiting to go in the oven, and suddenly your kitchen is feeling two sizes too small. Am I right? So today I want to walk you through 5 ways of how your kitchen can really support you and function like the star quarterback that it can be during the holidays. Because honestly, this time of year will test your kitchen more than any other. Let's dive in. The holidays are absolutely the Super Bowl for your kitchen. Everything is getting pushed to the max, and the weaknesses, well, they really reveal themselves. Here's what's happening. So, you're cooking more food than at any other time of the year. There's multiple dishes, larger portions, and overlapping oven times. And there's a lot of pressure to get everything out hot and at the same time. There's more people in your space. There's family, helpers, snack seekers, and the ones who just want to hang out and chat. And then the traffic flow can fall apart quickly because everyone is wanting coffee, a drink, or a place to stand and be a part of the action. So, depending on how much you entertain or host throughout the year, these stress points, well, they might not just show up in December, they might actually be year-round issues for you. But this is going to bring me to my first major point today, which is that the design element that really can make or break your holiday experience or your year-round kitchen is the layout. So you really want an inviting layout that creates calm. In modern kitchen design, we've really moved away from the old school work triangle and shifted towards functioning work zones. And during the holidays, these zones can become your best friend. Here's a list I'm going to run through of some zones that you could create in your kitchen. The first is going to be like a separate beverage or coffee station. This alone can reduce so much chaos, and it keeps guests out of your cooking zone and gives them a place to serve themselves. Okay. Having a double entrance to your kitchen prevents bottlenecks and will help keep traffic flowing, especially if you have a lot of guests in your home. Having wide walkways. If you're remodeling, you want to aim for 42 to 48 inches. Makes a huge difference, especially when appliances are open and you've got someone trying to walk by. Having an island design to separate the work zone from the hangout zone is simple but powerful. So prep on one side, seating on the other. A dedicated walk-in pantry, not only for food, but also for staging, storing small appliances, and just keeping clutter out of your main kitchen. Really helpful. And then lastly, a baking zone. If you like to bake a lot, having your mixer, your flour, your sugar, spices, all the things, rolling pins, all of that in one location is gold. I will never forget, speaking of layout, one particular holiday when my husband and I hosted Thanksgiving in a 1,200 square foot home that we had rented. And the kitchen, well, let's just say it was vintage. And we invited my husband's side of the family, and somehow there were like 15 people in this tiny kitchen, drinks in hand, laughing, having the best time, plus 4 or 5 large dogs, like weaving in and out. It was crazy. And we were trying to like pull scorching hot casseroles out of the oven and like not burn anyone. It was total chaos. we we managed to serve a hot meal, but you definitely don't want that layout situation happening at your house. So, yes, layout matters a lot. All right, moving on to point number 2 today is you want storage to promote holiday sanity. On a normal day, good storage makes a kitchen feel calm, but during the holidays, it can keep you sane. Here's a list of some smart storage solutions that I would definitely recommend. Having drawers are great for, storing pots and pans, casserole dishes, roasting pans, etc. And then having those extra deep drawers are great for serving platters and maybe extra large stock pots, things like that. Great to have. Rollout shelves for appliances, for pantry items are great. You're not having to reach into a dark corner and dig around. You just roll out that shelf. Tray dividers. You can include them in cabinets or drawers for baking sheets, cookie tins, cutting boards, tall, narrow things. Having that dedicated baking cabinet I mentioned earlier for flour, rolling pins, cookie cutters, all of that, really nice to have. Having a mixer lift is great if you have a heavy duty mixer. Having this stand that pops up out of the lower cabinet will change your life. Having organized spice pullouts are great. You can include them in upper or lower cabinets, even in drawers. Just having a system to store spices that are organized is very helpful. And then including those countertop cabinets to hide small appliances, coffee makers, toasters, blenders, things that you use on a daily basis, but you don't want cluttering up the counter. Having a countertop cabinet that you can just close off those doors and have everything tucked away with an outlet in the back is gold. Having lit glass cabinets for barware is great. It's a beautiful, practical way for display, and then also your guests can find what they need quickly. And then lastly, of course, I always talk about microwave drawers and built-in trash cans are they're both huge space savers for your kitchen and are important when you're having a lot of people over. And then one more thing I thought of is having obviously holiday specific storage. So, this is the time of year we want to break out our themed plates and mugs and linens and serving pieces and all the fun things that we really only use once a year, but we love them. So, if you don't have a pantry to store these items, you can include cabinets on the back side of your island. It's a great way for some hidden storage to use things that you only break out at the holidays. And this leads me perfectly for your tip number 3 today, which are surfaces and prep space, which really are your holiday powerhouse. I would argue that countertop space is the number one holiday kitchen luxury, right? Holiday cooking requires staging dishes, decorating cookies, laying out appetizers, pouring drinks, letting food cool, and hosting everyone who is gathering in the kitchen. And last week, I interviewed Clark Hunter at Encore Stone Studios about quality countertops and pricing. It was an episode number 13, if you want to go back and listen. And he touched on some great points and was saying that, your countertops really should match the way you live, which I totally agree with. So if you're a holiday hoster, you want to prioritize space, you want to prioritize durability, and create a lot of places for things to land, especially this time of year. The holidays are almost here again, and if you can't stand the thought of cooking your holiday meal in a dated, cramped, dysfunctional kitchen, listen up. If you're thinking of remodeling in 2026, you have to get on the wait list to fast track and organize your project like a pro. My Kitchen Remodel Made Easy course is your guide to save time, money, avoid costly mistakes, and take your kitchen design to the next level. If you can't afford to hire a designer, you cannot afford to not buy this course. For less than the price of your new kitchen sink, it's only available a few times a year. Get on the wait list. Link in show notes below. Okay, let's talk about point number 4, which is around sinks and cleanup. So in our house, we always joke that there's 10 hours of cooking and then like 30 minutes of eating, and then the cleanup begins, right? So here's some things that you can consider including in your kitchen. If you're thinking of remodeling, these are some things that can help with cleanup. So I like to recommend a single bowl sink, one that does not have a divider so that you can fit sheet pans, casserole dishes, and just any large items in there. That makes it really easy for cleanup. That could be a farm sink, it could be an undermount sink, but just really having a single basin that's oversized, the bigger the better, definitely helps. And then there's workstation sinks. Total game changer. Workstation sinks have built-in cutting boards, colanders, grids, and space to prep and clean all in one location. So if you're interested in that, you should definitely Google and check out, go on build.com and check out workstation sinks because they're amazing. And then the dishwashers, you definitely need to have a good dishwasher to help clean up. And yes, two dishwashers are becoming more and more common in higher end kitchens and for good reason. So you want a dishwasher that has a fast cycle. You want one that's super quiet at 38 decibels or below. And then having a dishwasher with that third rack is very helpful for utensils and anything small that you want to just keep on the very top to wash. It's just a great space saving option. I would definitely recommend two dishwashers if it's an option in your kitchen. If you can't fit two in one area, maybe put one in a pantry or something like that so that you've got that backup dishwasher. Okay, let's talk about the last tip, which is number 5, which are your appliances that really do the heavy lifting this time of year in your kitchen. And the oven, I'm going to say, really is your MVP, right? Because it's going to do all of the cooking. And there's different options out there. So some people like to have wall ovens with a separate cooktop. But most people today that I work with choose to have ranges. In many of the professional style ranges, like in Wolf, they'll offer, a 42 or 48 inch range where there's two ovens within one range, a large oven on the left, and maybe a small oven on the right. And that's great because it allows you to cook different dishes at different temperatures. Or say you want to bake one afternoon, you don't need to heat up the big oven. You can just use the small oven to make your cookies. It's just a great flexible option. And then wall ovens, I'm seeing people that want separate additional ovens, like they'll put a range in the main kitchen and they'll put wall ovens in their pantry. And a lot of times with the wall ovens now, you'll see one convection oven and then maybe like one steam oven that goes with it. And steam ovens are great because they really keep food moist. So if you're trying to keep your turkey moist or your dressing or any type of bread, they're great for that. And they're also great for reheating up leftovers without drying out the food. And then lastly is the induction cooktops or ranges. Both great for speed and precision. They have precise temperature cooking and they heat food up like boil water and all so fast. So if you consider switching holidays or you're really going to see it count. And then refrigeration. There's never enough refrigeration, right? So here's some solutions that you can think about to upgrade your refrigeration in your kitchen. So your standard size refrigerator is 36 inches. You could consider upgrading to a 48 inch or even a 60 inch wide model, especially now that so many refrigerators are counter depth. You really do lose a lot of storage. So having these wider models really do help. There's also column refrigeration units available where you can have a full size, full height refrigerator or a full height, full size freezer. And they're great. And you could have two refrigerators, one freezer, however you want to slice it. There's also beverage refrigerators, which are great for storing drinks of all types. And then there's refrigerator drawers, which are really great for organizing things like produce, or maybe you want to use it for everyday snacks for your guests or appetizer, things like that, or, snacks for your kids. Very helpful additional refrigeration. And then, if last but not least, if you're on a budget and you just want to throw a second refrigerator in the garage and call it a day, that's also very practical and very helpful to have that backup storage. So, to wrap up today's podcast, I want to just recap some of the things that we went through today to upgrade your kitchen and to help your kitchen really function this time of year. We talked about why having a good layout, an inviting layout that has plenty of circulation is so important. We talked about having storage, including specific storage features in your kitchen to promote organization. We talked about having lots of surface and prep space for all of the activities that are going to be taking place. We talked about having a large single sink bowl in your kitchen or a workstation sink, which is great for cleanup. And we talked about some of the appliances that you can include, like having a range with 2 ovens, or a range with double wall ovens, or a double wall oven and steam oven, things like that to really help. And then lastly, refrigeration, having more refrigeration and different types of refrigeration that you can include in your kitchen. So stop for a minute and think about, how did my kitchen perform under Thanksgiving? Was it supportive? Did I have enough storage? What made you crazy? What would make hosting easier next year? If you have any stories or questions, I would love to hear from you. You can follow me on Instagram, or you can share this episode with a friend who might be hosting a big holiday meal coming up this year, and maybe she's thinking about remodeling next year and needs some help. Thanks for joining me today, and cheers to a holiday season full of joy, calm, and kitchens that work with you and not against you. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. Thanks for tuning in to the Kitchen Remodel Made Easy podcast. If you want to continue the conversation or share your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you. Head over to my Instagram page at Robin Johnson Interiors and send me a DM. If you're curious how to get started on your own remodeling journey, I have a free resource that you can download called the Kitchen Remodel Starter Kit in the show notes below, or you can head to my website and grab it there on the front page. Friends, if you enjoyed today's podcast and you can't wait to hear more, please leave a raving review to help others find me. And if you didn't, well, don't worry about it. Have a great weekend, and I'll be back soon for more kitchen design conversations.